Have you ever wondered about women who cloak themselves in divine feminine energy, but they operate as queen pins? Well, there's a very distinct characteristic that these types of women will have, and there's a reason why they have that. I want to talk about that real quick right now because I want to shed light on this damaged and distorted feminine who seeks to harm because of fear of her own healing. Many of these women are very domineering, very manipulative. They bully others, and they're often acting from deep-seated wounds and unresolved trauma. They have this outer persona of grace and wisdom and empowerment, and it's a mask that conceals their inner hell. Now, from a psychological perspective, these women are in wounded feminine energy. The true divine feminine and divine femininity is nurturing, intuitive, receptive, but when it's wounded, it manifests as control, manipulation, and deception. These women have likely experienced deep betrayals, abandonment, or power struggles that led them to believe dominance is the only way to survive. It doesn't make it okay. But in all thy getting, get understanding. Narcissistic women use narcissistic defenses because most of them display narcissistic traits. They use spiritual language and a feminine mystique to justify their behavior. But beneath all of this, there's often low self-worth, a need for validation, and a fear of being powerless. Now, a lot of these do stem from unhealed sisterhood wounds. Competitive and toxic dynamics among women can stem from childhood or past life betrayals, mother wounds, or experiences of being unprotected by female figures. But instead of healing, they seek control over others to avoid feeling vulnerable. Go figure. They use a lot of shadow projection. They unconsciously project their unsuppressed pain onto others, bullying those they see as quote-unquote weaker to avoid confronting their own insecurities. From a spiritual perspective, this is the distorted divine feminine. Rather than embodying true divine feminine energy, they embody a distorted version rooted in Lilith's rebellion or Kali's destruction without rebirth. They take on a priestess-like role, but use it for power rather than healing. They're trapped in karmic loops. Many are trapped in cycles of power abuse, replaying past life dynamics where they either wielded power or were victimized by it. Until they break the cycle, they will continue attracting karmic lessons. They often fear surrendering. True divine femininity requires surrender. It requires honesty with yourself and those around you. It requires trust and flow. But these women equate surrender with weakness. Their need to control others is a fear-based attempt to avoid their own healing. disconnected from authentic power instead of drawing power from divine source and inner wisdom. They feed off of external validation, status, and influence, which ultimately leaves them spiritually depleted. What's the lesson in all of this? For the cross-watching women who are cloaked in divine feminine energy. These women are a reflection of what happens when power is sought without healing. Their actions reveal how the wounded feminine, when left unchecked, can become just as oppressive as the wounded masculine. The path to true divine feminine embodiment requires shadow work, humility, and a willingness to heal rather than dominate. Take that to the bank.